which one is the role of the ego in emotions?
We use emotion to manipulate. And this is the way of the ego. To get attention, to make people feel sorry for us, to feel guilty. We use emotions to push love away, to separate. And we create emotions that are not real emotions. They're not coming really from the depths of our being. We pretend emotion to get what we want or to please. We act. It's all part of an act. Humans naturally have emotions, but they're very quick. You know, we're happy, we're sad, we're angry, and then we're happy again. Our constant beingness is joy. We live in joy, like children live in joy. But we learn to use our emotions to manipulate.
I feel that all the movement of my stress comes and goes to the body, and I feel exhausted physically. So how can I acknowledge what I'm feeling and move it before it becomes something that is attached to the physical?
You know, our bodies have memories. Everything's locked within us. So when we start to move our emotions, we have memories. And when we release the emotion, the memory loses its power. You know, we have these human experiences and we get trapped in them. They create our window of perception. And as we start to liberate them, our vibration becomes very light. But when we're full of stress, physical stress, emotional stress, our vibration's very dense. It's like the water in a swimming pool, no? It accumulates so much rubbish. It's very hard to filter it. We have to keep putting new water in. We need to keep cleaning the filter. And at some moment, it's crystal clear. But our bodies are like that too. It takes time until we become crystalline. And when we're crystalline, our vibration's very light. And we don't keep accumulating stress. The body has the capacity to eliminate stress. But it gets so inundated that it can't. And this is what causes sickness. This is what causes everything. But once we heal, once we get our vibration back, once we're light again, and we start taking care of that, all the stress we accumulate each day is very quick to eliminate. It doesn't matter how you move it. It wasn't important how you accumulated it. You weren't watching it. And if this is the way you eliminate stress, if you move it physically, that's okay. And at some moment, when you're more anchored, you'll become more connected with yourself emotionally. But when you move emotional stress, it's exhausting too. Stress is exhausting. It's exhausting on the system because everything has to work double as hard. So once you eliminate it, all of this will change. It will all change.
How to make that other people's expectations will not affect me, because they are extremely exigent. But when it's supposed that they have to support me in some way, they don't. And then I feel very disappointed.
Because that's the game of the victim. I give and give and give and give and give and give. And when I need help and support, no one's ever there. You have to find a balance. You have to give from your heart. And when you give from your heart, you don't have any expectation. You have to see this game. It's a game that you play so you don't feel loved.
Carlos, when I unify very deep, I experience vibration that makes me shake. Using all the facets happens. And in some moments it gets like a not pleasant, the unification. This kind of sensation will last long because I don't find a way to diminish them even if I scream, beat up, or I do more activity, physical activity.
You know, you just need to surrender. Why are you making something wrong? Is it really that bad? Or is it an idea in your head? You know, it's great that you're having all this energy moving through your body. Imagine how much cleaning and healing it's doing. How much it's upgrading. Just keep surrendering to it. Just allow the energy. If it's there, it's because you're ready to contain it. You stop trying to get rid of it. You know, we do this system because we want to change. We do this system because we want to experience more love, more peace, more present moment awareness. We have a physical body, but it's electric. It has circuits. It runs with energy. And the energy has to upgrade so it can carry that vibration of peace. It's very fast. It's very subtle. It's very light. But it's like with anything. Sometimes there has to be a burst of energy to move everything through. This is how it works. Friction, pressure, expansion. So just surrender to it. You know, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to explode. You're not going to implode. You're not a nuclear weapon. You're just a human that has a very strong electrical circuit. And that's a great thing. It means you can hold high vibrations. You know, lots of people have exalted experiences. You know, they take drugs or drink something, or just they have an experience, an exaltation, and they're like, wow. But when that stops, their whole system's like this, like, why? Because they can't sustain the vibration. When we do the system, we're constantly elevating our vibration and we're actualizing our nervous system to carry that vibration. So all of these weird things happen, or no. Some people don't have any of them, and they're carrying high levels of consciousness.
Ale, I feel very moved. I feel I have so much to do. I feel that my life is a running. It's like jumping from a chaos to a chaos. And I have my deep experience of consciousness, but then out on chaos. And I feel I have to push myself to be better. But it's like in between something very inspiring and at the same time tremendously exigent. How can I deal with these two opposite things?
You know, you have to anchor in your heart. Everything you're describing is a consequence of your head. It's racing ahead. Oh, I've got so much to do. I never have time. there's not enough support, I've got too much, da-da-da. And then you're putting your spiritual growth in the same basket. Oh, I've got to unify. Oh, I'm not growing quickly enough. It's all counterproductive. Contraproductive. You're going against yourself. You have to stop. You have to anchor. You have to be in the moment. Okay, in this moment I'm doing this. Do it. Complete it. In this moment I'm doing this. Do it. Complete it. In this moment I'm doing this. Do it. Complete it. Stop jumping back and forth. Because that is your head. It's not productive. It's working against you. And you have to let that go. Because if you want to find peace, you have to surrender to the moment. And just do things in each moment.
We all have beautiful things. When we look to the other one, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves, but learning. Not to dare to imitate the other, not to compete with the other, but to open to receive and be richer with the experience of the other one. And can you talk about more about this?
You know, when you love yourself, this is the secret. When you love yourself, you're open to see other people's magnificence. Their beauty, their intelligence, their creativity. Because when you feel complete within yourself, you're like a child in wonder with all the magnificence of other people. This is how I feel. I never compare myself. Never. And there's many people that are much more talented than me, much more beautiful than me, much more intelligent than me, much more creative than me. And I'm inspired by these people. I think, wow, how did they think of that? Or, ooh, look how beautiful that is, or whatever. And when you love yourself, you just rejoice in everything. You find perfection in everything. But when you don't love yourself, you'll use everything externally to pull yourself down. Or to be jealous, or resented, or envious. You either use it to pull you down, or you try to pull the others down. So it's the responsibility of all humans to love themselves unconditionally, and then they can rejoice in the perfection and the beauty of everything. And that is such a freedom. And we don't teach the children that. We don't teach them their own unique perfection. We teach them to compete. We put a goal, and everyone has to reach that goal. And it's so ridiculous, because we all have unique things, beautiful things, wonderful things. And so we need to teach that. But we have to start with ourselves. We have to love ourselves unconditionally. And then we can appreciate everything.
My heart wants me to give to myself those 6 months to be with myself. My head is driving me mad with a no. What part of me is telling me the truth?
You know, we've been trained to do, to achieve, to get, to be responsible, and all the things we have to do, and we have to achieve, and we have to get. And our responsibilities are so illusionary. And they're meant to take us towards happiness. But we have to question that. Do they? Did they? Have they? Is it permanent? Is it momentary? What is it that all these ideas bring to us? And if we look very carefully, we will see that it's not true. That really all we're doing is running away from ourselves. 6 months. 6 months. It's nothing. What will I achieve in 6 months? Well, firstly, I'll get to know myself. This uncharted land. I'll get to know myself intimately. The things that I love, the things that serve, the things that are immature, that no longer serve, the things that allow me to open to receive love, and the things that push love away. I'm going to learn to be in the moment. I'm going to find this experience of peace and joy that will accompany me for the rest of my life. And that peace and joy and that consciousness and that connection with my internal voice, that really deep voice, that wise voice, that voice of omniscience, I'll be able to share that with other people. This is one aspect. The other aspect is I'm going to heal myself. All that stress that I've accumulated, all those self-doubts, all those physical limitations, all that excess weight, I'm going to start to let all of that go. I'm going to find out my natural hair colour. Finally, I will know what colour hair I actually have. All of these things are very important. But the most important is you will find love, love of self. And this is the focus of the 6 months, to be anchored in perpetual consciousness. And really, everyone should have done it at the age of 6. You're a little bit late. But it's never too late. And you'll learn how to do that for the rest of your life. And it will continue to be a process. But the thing is, you'll have the process. It's not you don't need to follow someone. You don't have to ring Isha and ask her what to do. You'll be able to decide for yourself. You'll be clear with you. You'll find the guru within you. And what a freedom that is. To really be able to trust in yourself. That's such a freedom. To be clear and to trust in you from a place of love. So, you can weigh up the two options. But just remember that your head wants you to do something. In fact, it doesn't care what it is, but we just need to keep doing. And your heart, it wants you to stop, wants you to go in. It wants intimacy. Intimacy with you.
The 3 facets of the witnessing: creator, responsibility, and mirror. What is the impact that has in the in what is external and in our chakras? Can you talk a little bit more on these aspects so I can give some more information to my intellect?
Well, that's very important that your intellect understands. You know, the creator is opening your third eye. All of the facets are focused on opening your chakras. But it's from a very innocent place. When I put attention in these energetic portals, they start to pulse and they start to open. You notice when you do the witnessing with me, I change all of the attention points because I'm always moving your electrical circuits. So when I'm placing my attention out, it's opening this chakra. When I'm placing my attention out, it's opening that chakra. It's pushing the energy out. And the mirror of perfection is a consequence of full responsibility. Because when I have full responsibility, where I see myself in everything, without any judgment, when I take the responsibility of the Creator, then I have the mirror of perfection. Because everything is a mirror. Your perception is your mirror. Now, is everything so exact? No, it's experiential. You have to experience it because your intellect cannot grasp the magnitude of this creation. It doesn't know where it came from, doesn't know who did it. Some people think it's a big bang. Some people think it's God. Some people think it's this. Some people think it's that. We all have concepts and ideas. But until reality comes to you, through you, and you become that, you don't know. Because you're living in an illusion of duality. And the irony is, when the realization comes, all of the questions drop. There's no more question. Just a realization, I am that. And there's nothing other than that. Now, tell your intellect what that means. No idea. Yeah, so.
What needs humanity to awake in a massive way?
A bigger virus. The only person that needs to wake up is you. Because there's only you. You just wake up and leave the others up to their problems. Because the minute you wake up, you heal the world.
What can you advise to live together during this quarantine with the kids at home? More peacefully.
Oh, more peacefully.
Yeah,
you can lock them in the basement. What would you do? I think you just have to let them be and stop trying to change them. Just enjoy them. And yes, they're going to be calm. And yes, they're going to be noisy. And yes, they're going to be adorable. And yes, they're going to fight. And yes, they're going to be destructive. And then they're going to be like little angels. You know, you have to invent things to keep them entertained. But do I have a secret for you of how to control your children? You're asking the wrong guru. No idea. I would say you need to surrender. And just look at them and say, how adorable. They're so adorable. Look, they're killing each other. Oh, how adorable. And just remember, they're your children.
How can I use the facets to maintain high my self-esteem?
You know, that's what the facets are for. And when you start to judge yourself, you just have to start using love creates me in my perfection. That's all you have to do. Just focus on that. Don't listen to the voices in your head. Remember those parrots? It's the same thing. It's just your ego telling you there's something wrong, telling you you're not good enough, telling you all these things. Love creates me in my perfection. You don't need to listen to those voices. Separate from the voices and just witness them as if it's someone else. And don't listen. Love creates me in my perfection. That's the best facet.
Ivo, I feel and see clearly my addiction to the doing. I see how I get lost in my activities. This I learned, and it's very hard for me to take my beingness to the doing. I see you all that you do so much, and you are so much at the same time, and I want that.
Well, it's called stabilization of consciousness, no? To be present in the moment, to be consciousness in action, and it's so important to be able to be the consciousness all the time. And it's an interesting thing because it gives you the capacity to do much more. That's the incredible thing. My team doesn't stop, but they're not losing themselves. We're not racing after an illusion, achieving something. We're just giving in this moment, doing in this moment, being in this moment. And it only comes through the stabilization of consciousness. And that's what the system's for. So the best thing is to just stop intermittently. If you see you're racing ahead, just stop, close your eyes, anchor, be here. I'm here now, and continue. And very quickly, you'll be able to tell. You'll start to see, because it will start to be very uncomfortable. When you're not in yourself, you'll think, oh, I'm not present. And you'll see signs. And just come back. Oh, now I'm present. Now I'm in the moment. Oh, there we are. Oh, I feel good. I feel anchored. It's simple. It's just exercise. It's an exercise of stabilization of consciousness. And it's not difficult. I'm here now, I'm here now, I'm here now. Okay, and I'm present with everything. Present in the silence. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a new vibration happening. Everything's a little bit quieter. Everything. I live in a quiet place, but it's like an energetic thing. I woke up this morning and I thought, oh, the world's quieter. Everything's quieter. And it's very beautiful.